Hi, I'm Laura Gadenik. I'm a therapist and an astrologer, and I'm here to give you the astrology for the weeks of August 5th through the 18th, 2024. And I hope to do so in a way that gives you a sense of free will and agency. Although we can't always control what happens to us, oftentimes we can't. We can often control how we respond, how we think about events, etc. So, that being said, I just want to start off with saying that we started a Mercury retrograde yesterday on August 4th. Mercury is retrograding from August 4th through the 28th. And Mercury retrogrades are all about review. Mercury is going back over, moving backwards, or is appearing to move backwards in the sky, territory that Mercury already traveled through. And then once it goes back to a certain point, which will be in Leo, it's going to start moving forwards again. So that period of where Mercury is starting to move backwards is when Mercury is traveling over territory that it's already traveled through one time before. So this is the second time Mercury is moving back over this territory. Hence, we are reviewing something in our lives. And it's something that has to do with the houses that have Virgo and Leo on the cusp. So if you know your birth chart pretty well, semi-well, look to the houses that have Virgo and Leo on the cusp, and those themes are what are up for review and reflection. Mercury retrograde is not really a time to move forward with things, make really big decisions. It's more a time to fix things, fix problems, go back over and reflect. Mercury retrogrades are, prime times for miscommunication. So it's a good time to work through communication issues. Sometimes things break down, and sometimes there are delays with Mercury retrograde. So give yourself extra time to, get to work, get to wherever you're going, to process things. And I would suggest doing a lot of journaling and writing and just self-reflection in general. Really good time for that. And also paying attention to, so Mercury's going to be coming back to the point where it's stationed retrograde on September 10th or 11th. And so paying attention to, events from yesterday, the 4th of August, kind of what were you thinking about then? What's been coming up for you? And maybe even a couple days prior to that as Mercury was slowing down. What have you been chewing on? What conversations have you been having? What decisions have you been thinking about making? It's likely that all of these themes will come back up around the 10th or 11th of September for kind of like finality, maybe making a decision or moving forwards. Okay, and then on Wednesday the 7th, we have a really lovely day, actually. The sun is making a sextile to Jupiter. The sun is our conscious awareness, our light, our chi. Jupiter is a planet about faith, abundance, optimism. So this is a day that will feel really good. You might feel more optimistic and have see things in a more positive light. There might be something to celebrate. You might feel more generous. It's just a really nice aspect. And then on the same day, Venus, who just recently moved into Virgo, will make a conjunction come together with Mercury retrograde in Virgo. And Venus is goddess of love, beauty, connection, sweetness, joy. And when she comes together with the planet of the mind, Mercury, it's likely that we'll, be maybe exchanging sweet messages with other people, messages of appreciation and support, care. You might, exchange affirming words with someone. You might have an easier time connecting with or understanding someone. And there could just generally be something that is good that is happening on this day. We have more joy energetically accessible to us on this day. So it's really lovely. You might also notice, you might even be thinking about themes related to Venus. So what are Venus themes? Women, LGBTQ folks or issues, relationships in general, like how are your relationships going? What are your needs in relationships? What isn't working for you? What would you like to work on? what are your boundaries in relationships? Anything relationship could be coming up on Wednesday the 7th for you to have some insight with. Maybe you have new awareness around issues regarding relationships. So then that's pretty much the main astrology that's happening for this first week. And then we really don't have much going on until next week. So this week's a bit of a quiet week. And I will say it's a really good week to go ahead and start working on projects that you know are coming up, because the next 2 weeks after that are really busy astrologically and more intense. So this week is a good week to go ahead and start preparing for whatever you have coming up. Like, I know I'm moving this month, so I'm going to be starting this week to start packing, right? So this is kind of a week like that. What can you start packing metaphorically or figuratively in your life to prepare for next week? So next Wednesday on the 14th of August, Mars and Jupiter come together at 16 degrees of Gemini. So Mars is a planet about action. It wants us to go, press on the gas. And Jupiter is like, yes, let's do that and more. Jupiter is about optimism, confidence, faith. It's all going to work out. Let's go. Let's do this. It's about enthusiastic action and, maybe even a little bit of impatience to get going with something and to do something courageously. Could feel a little scattered because it's in Gemini. A Gemini is a sign that's like, oh, that looks fun over there, but that looks fun over there. And I want to hop around to all these different places and see all the different people. And it can be just kind of a scattered energy sometimes. So just beware of spreading yourself too thin. But there's really this energy of wanting to take a leap of faith with something, wanting to start something new. And this isn't new, by the way. This has been building for the last several weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks since Mars entered Gemini. So this is nothing new, but you might just feel a little more oomph in starting that project or taking that initiative, taking that leap, applying for the job, asking that person on a date, making a change, right? The thing is that both Mars and Jupiter are in a position where they are being squared by Saturn. So squares are tensor aspects. They create friction, they create some conflict, they make it so that we need to make adjustments. And Saturn is a planet about boundaries, discipline, hard work, sometimes being told no, hearing no, saying no, or go slower. Saturn says, okay, you want to do this, you want to take action on this plan, you have all this enthusiastic, abundant energy. Okay, how are you going to do it? Let's make a plan. How is this going to last? Thinking about sustainability, thinking about, a long-term plan. And also, sometimes Saturn says we have to make sacrifices. So maybe there is an opportunity that comes up for you or that you take action on, but it means you have to say no to this thing over here. Or like I said, this opportunity will just require a slow build and hard work. So it could feel potentially a little discouraging, like there's a rain on our parade. However, it's really all about how we think about it. Don't let the energy of Saturn make you feel like you can't do something or that, something's not possible, or, I would say watch your thoughts around this time frame. Are you having overly negative thoughts? Are you feeling downtrodden, unsupported? How can you gain support for yourself? How can you ask for support? How can you achieve this goal or desire through a very specific, detailed plan? So that's kind of the energy of what's happening next week. And that's really Wednesday the 14th. Mars makes the square to Saturn on Thursday the 15th. We're going to feel that desire to go, but Saturn says, wait, rest, stop. If Mars is the gas, Saturn is the brakes. So how do we contend with that? We're like, I feel like this energy of Mars, Jupiter coming together and then Saturn squaring the two is like running a marathon. Like, what nutrients do you need to run a marathon? How much water do you need? How much training do you need to be able to run a marathon? Really thinking long-term sustainability. So Wednesday, the 14th of next week through, let's see, Jupiter makes the square to Saturn on the 19th. So it's kind of that time frame, the 14th through the 19th, give or take a couple days on each side. Like I would say 3 days at least is when you're going to feel this energy the most. On the same day, Wednesday the 14th, this is the same day as Mars and Jupiter come together in Gemini, which, by the way, if you're a mutable sign, if you have a lot of planets in mutable signs, so that's Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces, and specifically in the middle part of mutable signs, so between like 10 to 20 degrees of mutable signs, you're going to feel this energy a lot more than other people. Astrology doesn't function the same for everyone. But yes, on Wednesday the 14th, Mercury retrograde heads back into Leo. And then on Sunday, the 18th, Mercury retrograde makes a square with Uranus at the same time that it conjoins the sun. So first of all, whenever Mercury comes into conjunction with the sun, it's called entering the heart of the sun. It's called a cazimi. And anytime any planet enters the heart of the sun, that planet is illuminated with the sun's light, which, remember, the sun is our conscious awareness. So all of a sudden we gain new insights, we gain new clarity, awarenesses around something involving that planet. So the 18th is really a time where we might have like an aha moment of like, oh, I understand what this Mercury retrograde is about for me. And it's happening around 26 degrees of Leo. So if you have personal planets around those degrees of Leo, it might be more personal to you. Certainly it might bring up new awarenesses around the part of your chart that contains Leo in general. But we're having a new insight, new aha moment. And it could be that it's coming from even like gaining access to information that was previously hidden or unknown before. And it might even be a little bit of a surprise. On the same day, Mercury makes that square to Uranus. Uranus is a planet about surprises, unexpected changes, drastic 180 turns of events. So whatever the awareness is, it might feel surprising, could feel a little jarring, or just kind of that unexpected, like, whew, I have to like suddenly make a pivot because I have this new information that I have to act on or that I have to respond to. Mercury square Uranus is also about thinking about things in new ways. Remember, Mercury is a planet about the mind. Uranus is change. How can we look at this differently? How can we approach this problem differently? How have I been thinking about this issue or this problem that's been bringing me down? And what are other ways that I can think about this? What are other perspectives that I haven't considered? So changing mental patterns. This is a really great day for that as well. Becoming aware of the mental patterns that are guiding you, that are guiding how you feel, think, and act in this world. And generally speaking, you might have a change of mind about something as well. Also, another thing about Mercury square Uranus, you might feel just a little all over the place. You might Uranus is kind of like, let's look at that, let's do that, let's go over here. It can be a little similar to that Gemini scattered energy. So just being aware of that. It's a really good day to do some grounding exercises, and do anything, maybe even like exercises that help ground your focus, because it might be a little harder to focus on this day. And also, this isn't the first time that Mercury made this square to Uranus. The first time was on July 21st, 2024. So think back to that date. What was happening on that day? What were you thinking about? What conversations were you having? What information was coming to you? And then the third time that this aspect will happen is going to be September 6th, 2024. So that's going to be the wrap up, the final piece to the puzzle. This second time on the 18th, when Mercury's making the square to Uranus, is kind of like part 2 in this 3-part story. So on the September 6th is that final square to Uranus. That might be like, okay, I've you know, I can make the change, I can make the mental shift. I've understood this situation or problem differently. I'm seeing it from a different perspective. I'm seeing where I went wrong here, and now I feel I can move forward with a new framework, a new way to look at it. And then on the same day, Sunday the 18th, we have Venus and Jupiter making a square. These are the two benefics in astrology. They are planets that bring good things, good feelings, celebration, joy, love. And so this might be also a day where you have a lot of fun. You might be really busy socializing with people, celebrating something, just having a good time. Could be, once again, a little bit of a chaotic day because of that Mercury square Uranus happening on the same day. And then when the two benefics come together in a square aspect, it can sometimes be like a little bit too much of a good thing. So like, you know, classic things to watch out for, like overspending or like consuming too much sweets that make you feel sick later, or, you know, not getting enough sleep because you were out having so much fun the night before. And like, sometimes like, whatever, like it's okay to overspend on one day or to have like a little too much fun, and it's not a big deal. And if you're someone who tends to be really reserved or held back or kind of more strict with yourself, like this could be a really good day to like let go a little bit more and lean into that more extreme fun and be more spontaneous. And if you're someone who is already really spontaneous and likes to have a lot of fun, maybe sometimes to your detriment, then this might be a day to like watch out for that, and maybe, you know, try to do more of those grounding exercises, being in your body, journaling, practicing mindfulness. That might really help to ground you if you struggle to feel grounded. So that is the astrology for the next couple of weeks. I hope this was useful. Please reach out if you're interested in a consultation. I'm available, and I would love it if you liked, subscribe, comment. I love hearing about how the astrology impacts you, and I'll be back in another couple of weeks for another astrological update. I hope you have a lovely couple of weeks. Bye.